In this video, I'm going to be talking with Quincy Lin, who is a 10-year Amazon seller. He's been selling on Amazon longer than I have. And in this, we're going to be talking about not just his history of selling on Amazon, but also this sourcing extension that he has created. And the reason I'm bringing him on the channel is because I've had people reach out to me saying that they've had good success with this extension. And so I'm excited to bring Quincy Lin from Quick Finds extension onto the channel. Now, if you're interested in checking out the Quick Finds extension, you can go to askjimmysmith.com/quickfinds. That link will be below and in the description. And it is actually spelled QIKFINDS. There is no U, so it looks like Kick Finds, but it's askjimmysmith.com/quickfinds, and you can check out the extension there. Now, let's go ahead and get into the interview with Quincy, where we talk about his history of selling on Amazon, some of the sourcing tactics and strategies that he employs in his business, as well as doing a full demo of his extension, Quick Finds. Hey, Quincy, thank you so much for joining me today on the YouTube channel. Excited to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always fun to bring people on a YouTube channel, especially whenever they've created awesome software. They've been selling on Amazon for so long. And so I'm excited to kind of get into some of the stuff that you've been doing, in the communities that I'm a part of, whether it's My Silent Team or Business Building Legends community. I see a lot of people right now using a software that you built that's called Quick Finds. And you have a lot of other things kind of around that brand of Quick. But one thing that's really stood out to me is the ability for the software to help people find more products for their Amazon business. Now, I know what I love to see is that sellers creating software for other sellers. And I know you've been selling on Amazon and been in the My Silent Team community for a while. So I'd love to hear a little bit of background before we kind of get into Quick Finds and how this all works for sellers' businesses.
Yes, I've been selling full-time on Amazon since 2015. So I started in 2014 part-time. I had the candy machine business just to test the water, see if I can do business. And it turned out I make money from candy machines. So the next step is to I listened to a podcast and then talk about FBA with a couple, actually interviewed by Pat Flynn. And I listened to that, and then I bought the course from the couple, and that's how I got started with the FBA, 2014, April, actually. And since then, I quit my engineering job full-time. At that time, went full-time on Amazon, 2015. Ever since then, I'm still a active seller. I only do OA, nothing else, no wholesales, no private label. And I'm kind of chasing the sales type of OA. I replan in that sense. But even now, I have a 10 hours workday. I spend 4 hours a day just as a seller, managing everything about selling. I mean, the whole Amazon seller business. And then the other 6 hours, develop software, develop my service, and in building connection, doing interview with you, and all those things, right? So with that, I just went to the Proven Conference 2024, and I'm catching up on all listening to all the presentation, including yours. I did that, and then I kind of I attended the Replan Accelerator workshop 2 days before the official conference, and my idea would be, how do I add the retail price replan into my chasing the sales replan? So I like it. I have the infrastructure. I will transfer that knowledge to my VA and add additional revenue as a seller. So I kind of go the other way around, right? So Jim talk about, okay, you started with the replan and then low cost and low risk and everything. I'm coming from the other side. I was on the roller coaster with the chasing the sales kind of a replan, and now stabilize. And then I want to add the retail price replan into the mix. And as a seller, I always bump into pain points, struggles, challenges with the tools, with the process, and on top of ever-changing Amazon policies, right? And because of that, I'm with my engineering background, kind of a tinkering. Okay, what can I do with software to solve some of the pain point, bring efficiencies into the business? And that's what I did. And first, I hired a VA, building my lead list. That's way back in 2015. Focus on shoes. Now I expand into quick list, then includes more leads, right, across multiple categories. And along with that, I always want to offer a service or some tool so that put people or sellers who are doing online arbitrage into a position that they have more profitable leads than the budget can afford. So that is a good position to be in, right? So you can cherry pick whatever you want. Given the ever-changing increased fee from Amazon, the demand for higher margin inventory becomes even more important. So how did you do that? If you have a limited number of the lead to begin with, it's pretty difficult.
Mhm.
So I developed the software Quick Finds extension. So that just help people to be able to move toward the goal to have more leads, right, in their hands every day. Now, Quick Find actually, it's called Quick Find extension, but there is another sibling web application called Quick Find, which I developed previously. Now, that application aggregate all the sales and promotion from hundreds of online store in one place. So once you get that information, for example, Nike.com has a 20% for member today. You will get that through that Quick Finds application. And then because it's supported by the Quick Find extension, right? And then so you can just go to Nike.com, fire up the software, and then you'll be digging through all the sales on Nike.com. So people ask me, is it Quick Find or Quick Find extension? So they land on the wrong page. So the idea in the future, those two will be merged into one. So no more confusion, but I'm working on it. So that would be a brief history of me as a seller. And I was in the Jim Cochran's, my silent team's coaching program, 2015.
Mm.
And ever since then, I just love the community, love the vibe, and love the new way of doing business. And for example, to keep 1.0, 2.0, and your original the replan 1.0. I was really early on listening to the whole thing, and now I finished listening to the 2.0, right? Because I'm limited. I have a lot of knowledge now, but together with other people like yourself, I mean, everybody has its uniqueness and different way of doing things. We share the ideas and then see how it work. I think that's the beauty of being in the community. So that's why I am here now to share what I have, and hopefully it will be beneficial to people who watch and listen.
Oh, I'm sure it will, Quincy. It's quite the background. So thank you so much for giving us that information because you've been on Amazon for longer than I have. So I started in December of 2015. You started, I think you said April of 2014-ish. And so yeah, there's so much knowledge that we can learn from you just on sourcing. And I actually want to get into some of that information on that, as well as to some more information on the Quick Finds extension. Now I did mention it in the intro to the video, but anybody that's interested in checking out the Quick Finds extension as we go through this in a little bit later, you can head over to askjimmysmith.com/quick finds, and that's QIKFINDS. The link will be below and in the description. But I do want to ask you a few things real quick, Quincy, on the 4 hours that you said you spend daily in Amazon business. What kind of stuff are you doing? Are you approving purchases? Are you working with your team? Are you doing prep and ship at all? Or do you have that outsourced? What are some of those things that you're doing in your Amazon business?
So far in the 4 hours, only one thing I outsource, that is the prep. I have my own prep center in Oregon. We have a lot of experiences with that. I partner with the great guys up there. We've been doing this for 8 years. Now, that's the only thing I outsource. Everything else, I do it myself for a good reason. If you ask me, I have a big VA team for the lead list, but how do you not outsourcing, sourcing to other people? So the reason for me to do that, it is because I'm managing sourcing, shipping, selling, and sustaining. All four of them, I do it myself. So I know every aspect of every stage. So that means when I develop software, produce services, I know what I'm doing, right? So actually, I just kind of stick to it. And also, if I kept myself at 4 hours a day only, Monday through Friday, that means I have to be more efficient, right? So I'm all about squeeze more profit from the inventory I purchase instead of increasing the buying budget and hopefully the sales will go up, profit will go up. I actually go the opposite way. So how to optimize? So a lot of people I have talked about, they try to find more budget to buy inventory. They borrow loans, credit card, and then they, just to ramp up. However, they do not yet have a solid foundation to have optimized system. So I want to put myself in the same situation to go through all that and efficiently. So that if I can, let me give you some number. To begin with, I have up to 20K a month for buying inventory. And then my goal is to net 5,000. Okay. So with the changes on Amazon now, when I'm looking at it with the new optimized system, I'm aiming 100% ROI. So actually it's happening right now and it's working. So that means I don't have to spend as much on inventory. And then, of course, I need to be selective in what I order because I already in the position have more lead than my budget can afford. So I can do that. So I hope other people can do it using my tool and services and strategies. So that is the reason as a solopreneur, if I can do this with the system I have, then other people, as long as they are not giving up, they are, work hard and willing to do it, it's possible, right? So I encourage people when we are talking about in the community, sometimes we hear people talk about a lot of big sales and bigger seller. They wonder what can they do it? So my idea would be you don't have to. Basically, let's say I live in California, it's very expensive area, right? So if you live in the other side of the country, probably you don't need that much every month just to be, live comfortably, right? Once you understand that, then hey, other people doing $13 million sales a year, great for them, but I only need 3,000 a month and that's it, right? So focus on that. So as a solopreneur, I do have my cap, how much sales I can do, how much profit I can make. So if I can do that, make 5,000 with, 6,000 budget. Do you want to do it? A lot of people probably would, right? So that's my idea. Stay in the trenches, understand the pain point, develop the service and software tool, and show people actually you can do it. So that's why.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, as you've been optimizing that kind of stuff, what are some of the changes that you've been making? Is it just being more stringent in the products that you're purchasing to make sure the ROIs are higher, or is it you're now utilizing more discount codes and cash back? Or are you changing how you're sourcing? You're moving from one category to a different one. What are some of those small changes that you've made?
A couple things. Number one is, first of all, I need to have access to more leads than my budget can buy, right? Once you do that, then we're looking at, okay, which one generate the highest margin, okay? Now, generate the highest margin, that's one thing because all the fee going up, you have to, right? Another thing I would do psychologically, it is that when I run my profit analysis, I will have a 15% buffer built in to the calculation. So I use rough seller. So when I go to the setting and put in 15% where you're supposed to put in the sales tax rate, I always get the free no sales tax, right? But I use that to put in 15% because I sell 50% shoes. I know the return rates in 25% range. So I did this study with my own inventory. In the past 6 months, on average, with all the return, I need to build in 7 to 8% just to compensate for the return cost. But on top of it, I add 7% more. So when I do my profit calculation, when I see that, oh, you are making $20 profit in the back of my mind, that is 15% more potential I can get, right? So psychologically, I feel great because I know I'm getting, even though I dropped the price in repricing down to break even, I know I still have 15% buffer there. So increase the margin, have a more access to more inventory, and on top of it, actually, I'm in the process of developing a software that help people to manage gift card and cashback. So we it's a pain point. A lot of people think it's gravy on top, icing on the cake. I don't see it that way. I will try to get both any way I want, I can, right? So be disciplined and know how to do it, and do it that consistently, that add on average, I think about 8% profit into, which is nice, right? We know there's some people actually they don't want to make profit selling item. They want to make profit from cashback or credit card cashback. So increase that and be diligent on top of it. That will increase your margin as well. And at the same time, of course, I use a prep center, right? And at this moment, finally, I start doing FBM. For the longest time since 2014, I don't want to do it because it just takes too time consuming. I don't have the space to store them. I don't want to do the fulfillment. But Amazon, thanks to Amazon, pushed me in that direction finally, because my prep center now is doing the FBM. So they do the heavy lifting, fulfillment, and then they store the product for me. And for people selling shoes, we do have a pretty cool feature built in that will ensure if people return, as you know, 25% return rate, some of them will be, just garbage. They say swap out, switch loo, whatever. But we do have a good practice in place to prevent that. And on top of it, as you know, when item return as a customer damage, you can't get reimbursement, very difficult. But with the FBM, with the new process in place, we're going to file the safety claim and get the reimbursement every time. So it's very exciting at this moment. So FBM, and I can just additional revenue, right? So the same shoes, I can be a FBA seller and FBM seller, increase my bandwidth, so get more sales, and I don't have to do the heavy lifting, right? So it's ideal for my 4 hours, workday concept. Now, on top of it, for people at certain level, consider using 2 prep center, one in the East, one in the West. And you know how Amazon, the new inbound placement fee, utilize it, because if you have 2 prep center, because I place an online order, I make 2, one goes to the East, one goes to the West. So they likely will serve the customer on both ends of the country, right? At the same time, it's just, you don't have to do anything. You increase your sales that way. But so I use a New Hampshire. I use a prep center, a good friend of mine. We use that. So both FBM, 2 prep center, and more access to more leads. Built-in 15% buffer, and be diligent, utilize cashback and gift card. Now I'm hooking up with the major gift card, discounted gift card provider, Flu's, Raised, Card Cash, and 2 other. And it's going to be pretty exciting because people can really see the power of using the discounted gift card. And now they have a way to actually buy and managing them. So with all this in place, I think the result that I'm seeing, I'm looking at the order every day. I'm telling you, there's no loss profit sales right now so far with the strategy. So that is the reason why I do the 4 hours work day, and then what I have been doing to make that possible.
That's great. Yeah. So I'm sure that one of the natural questions that a lot of people that are watching this will probably have is, Quincy, how are you getting such good deals and leads that you're being able to find that have this kind of high profit and ROI? I'm assuming that it's through the Quick Finds extension and some of the other things that you've talked about. So what is it that makes your Quick Finds extension different from all the other software programs out there? Because I know as a new seller, it can be extremely overwhelming trying to pick what software to try. And even as an experienced seller, there's so much out there, but we see people that have good success with a lot of different things. And so what specifically has made yours stand out among some of the rest?
Yes. So I would not say my software is the best, though. The best software for a seller is the one tailored to the seller's business model, right? So if you are doing regular retail price replan, there's some software probably it's better than my software, right? Even though my software can do both. I use TA and I'm still using it. I have 2 accounts and I've been evaluating we have to see things when it comes to sourcing in light of 3 things. I put it in the acronym called KIT, K-I-T, KitKat, right?
Mhm.
So your knowledge with the sourcing, your investment available in the sourcing, and then your time. So I talked to a lot of people that have a full-time job, just like me back in 2014. You only maximum have a 10 to 15 hours a week to work on your Amazon business. I mean, you literally don't have that much time. So, and the investment, come on, look at it. I mean, not everybody has $1 million to spend a month on inventory, right? So, and then your knowledge, sometimes you struggle, you're learning, you watch a video like Ask Jimmy Smith, and you try to learn as much as you can. However, how do you make sense of what you learn, what you hear, what you're listening to? So those three things dictate, when I was doing consultation with people, dictate what kind of sourcing strategy software that you're going to use.
Mm.
Now, for me, the software itself is for doing manual sourcing, right? So I have a lead list. I understand the pain point. Two things. Number one, the price tends to tank. It doesn't matter what, right? So especially on the lower price item, like for example, you buy something at $5 and then you can see a lot of people jump on it, right? If you buy something like $70 a pair of Hoka shoes, then probably not too many people would jump on it right away. But the thing is, it tank price over time. Now, why does it matter tank price? We know things tend to tank price anyway, right? Whether you use the lead list or not. The key thing is about time, right? Some people, they say, you know what? I have $1 million budget. I can hold off until other people sell out. But a lot of us, we can't afford that, right? So we have to say, try to get the cash flow going, sell as fast as possible. Now, how did you manage if you're using a lead list? So there's no way you can avoid it. So the key thing is, like what you said in your recent YouTube, one of the video you did is to follow the rabbit trail, right? From the lead list. The list tell you where the sales are, and then actually people are finding good stuff. Then you follow the rabbit trail and do that 3-step rabbit trail using the extension, because right now the extension support 146 store right now. Pretty much 80% of any lead list out there you can find, we are supporting it, right? Once you bring it in, and then you just spend 5 minutes, look through a different location, likely you can find one, and that's it. Other people are not finding it. You're not buying directly from the lead list. Solve that problem.
Mhm.
Now, the second problem is the cost of a lead list. If I have to pay on average, I would say 149 a month, right?
Mhm.
And for people starting out, they say 149, geez, that's quite a bit. But let me tell you, because of the extension, as you can see in the back, quick list plus the extension. So we actually understand how much it takes to run a team or VA to generate the lead list, the quick list. But the cost can be, because I have the extension now. So the key thing is to I can afford to drop the cost for the lead list. If you are using the extension, the lead list is just $69 a month.
Mhm.
So it's more affordable, and then you get the extension, which allow you to access unlimited inventory, right? But I remember there's a time constraint to everybody. Even though with the lead list, with the extension, you don't have 6 hours to do the sourcing, right? And that kept by your budget. If you only have a $5,000, let me tell you, for me, every day I only have 1,000 maximum, because I have a 20K up limit. At 1,000 budget, I'm selling shoes. It's pretty easy to get the sourcing done for the day, right?
Mhm.
So in that case, I need to be happy. After I spend 1,000, I'm done for the day. Tomorrow, there will be more leads coming over. I'm not afraid of missing any opportunity anyway, right?
Mhm.
So the software itself, it really have to come down to people's business model. But for people a beginner, they kind of struggle with, okay, how do you read the keep bar charts, and how did you find the inventory? Which store is legit, and which likely will not reject me as a reseller, and whatever. Those information, actually, the extension can serve as a guide for people who are new to Amazon. So if you teach people how to do sourcing, you will give them, okay, you look at this criteria, look at this matrix, making sure it's good. So the extension itself it follow kind of a four thing. Only put in, so basically how it works is, instead of, when you go to for example, Macy's, right? It has a sales on beauty, 15% off. Now, while you're shopping at Macy's, you're looking things through, what the extension will actually bring in the Amazon data into the store for you, right? So you don't have to go anywhere. So the goal is to say, similar to for people doing RA, you're holding a mobile scanning app. You go to TJ Maxx, and then you go down the aisle, you scan one item and review the data on the screen. Similarly, now you go to online, you go to TJ Maxx online, for example, you bring in the extension is going to actually display a little box similar to what you see on the mobile app while you're actually at the TJ Maxx. So they only bring in essential data for you to do the analysis. And the essential data, I put it in the acronym, it's called the MAPS, MAPS, like, map. So what that means is all you need to do is follow the maps, then you'll be okay. So number one, you want to make sure there's a perfect match between the store product and Amazon listing. Number two, does the store have stock right now for you to purchase, right? Availability. Now, if it doesn't, you set up a little notification and you check back later, right? If it keeper chart looks good, like what you said, the keeper chart looks good, and then we'll come back to it. So that's MAP, that means profitability. Of course, you want to know it's profitable, right? Either at, if you're doing the retail replan, make sure you're not losing money at the break-even point, and then you add 20%, 40% on top of it. Profitability. And then the last one, S, is sellability. So you need keeper. You need to look at the offer count graph. You need to look at your competition. How many FBA seller, how many FBM seller is Amazon's on it? Those are the basic MAPS maps for new seller to understand. Once they do this long enough with the extension, become net second nature. They know automatically what data to look for, even though they no longer use the extension using other tool. That become a habit. So it's a great training tool for people who are new to Amazon.
Absolutely. Yeah. So is there any ability for you right now? I assume that you could pull up your screen, kind of show us how the software works. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. I'd love to have you do that because I'd love to show people on this YouTube video how the software itself does work, because it will show you a lot of different stores that you have access to. It will help you to be able to judge profitability better and to analyze products better. So would love for you to be able to pull that up real quick and we can kind of go through it.
Sure.
And I know you have a lot more training too and some videos on your website and stuff like that. So, again, anybody that wants to check out some of that, you can check out the link that's in the description that I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier.
So I think the video will be helpful. People will be able to consume anytime they want. Let me see where I can. Okay, so pick the right screen. All right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is very popular. TJ Maxx, Marshall, Home Goods, Sierra, right? I mean, for people doing OA, Sierra, there's a lot of it's kind of considered as an off-price store. That means you see the item today, tomorrow probably will be gone. Okay. So and then another one I want to show people is the Walgreens. It's Walgreens always have some kind of a sales across multiple categories. It's one of my favorite, right? But if we're looking at so many, let's say automatically, if it's a Sierra, you already assume it's on sale, some kind of a sale. You just have to pick the right one. So if you kind of so you can see, let me explain what you see. The 4 pair of shoes right underneath each one of them, there's a little box. It's called the data box. It's injected by the extension, right? So Sierra does not offer a UPC code so that we can find the match on Amazon using the UPC. So the only way that we can do is to using title and image search, and hopefully we'll find the product, right? And so that's why I picked Sierra. Now, let me jump back to Walgreens. Walgreens will give us the UPC so that through that, we'll always find the perfect match, which is very time saving, okay? So usually, here's how it goes. I walk you through how I would use it, right, in one scenario. And generally, it's the most common way people using the extension, that's how they use it. So you come to Walgreens and then you realize Walgreens today has up to 20% for the health product. And then you come over here, you want to say, hey, Walgreens, only, let's say, show me anything that's on sale that you can ship to me. Don't require me to go to the store, and it's currently in stock. So Walgreens has the built-in filter for that. So we utilize that, narrow down the selection. Now we only have a 272 item to go through. Now I did the study when I developed the software. If we are to manually, even though I give you the UPC, manually to find the data that the MAPS require, like find the match on Amazon, you check the Walgreens, is it in stock or not, and then is it profitable, and then what are the competition landscape. All that information takes about 4 to 5 minutes per item. So it really adds up when you go through 272. Now, the key point of the software is I don't want you to spend more than 30 seconds on each one of them. Then you make a decision whether there's a potential for you to buy. If there's a potential, you save it. And then later on, once you short list the 272 item, maybe come to 5. And then you dig through those 5, you bring in other software that you already have, like RefSeller, AC Insight, Seller M, whatever you have, right? So that's the idea. No, okay. So to go through, let's say, does Walgreens has any discount, cashback, discounted gift card? So right now, let me put it in. Usually 4% cashback. I cannot get any gift card. You can use online. So right now it's actually, so we have a 20% site-wide discount. I'll put it right here. There's a reason I put it on the discount number 2, because Walgreens, when you checked it out, it always apply the category discount. For example, buy 2, get 3, get the third one free. So let me run that real quick. So that's about, if I'm right, that's a 33%. Okay, yes. So that means Walgreens, in the order of applying discount, it will always apply the buy 2 get third free discount first, and then they will apply the the category discount, which is 20%. So I set it up. That means my calculator, the extension calculator, will take that into consideration. And then the profit, you can set your profit. As you can see right here, I put in the 15% I mentioned earlier. So inbound shipping per pound, 75 cents. And I plan to sell everything within 3 months. And then my prep center charged me $1.50 per unit. So that is set one time. And then you can set matching criteria for as the extension go through the 272 item. If you set the criteria right here, if you find an item that match this criteria, it will give you a thumb up. So that means it helps you to find what you're looking for. And then you can set up your own matching criteria. You can set up multiple, one for shoes, one for grocery, one for beauty, and so on. And then we have, we don't have to do anything. Right here, you show all the 140 plus store that we have right now, right? So some are UPC supported, some are non-UPC. But here's the tips. People tend to be, hit the easy button, right? I guess a lot of subscribers, they will be using checking out the UPC store because you don't have to go the extra step to do the matching. So the tip is to go for the non-UPC store if you're using the extension. Less people will be looking at them. And pretty much that's it. So when we make changes to the menu, it automatically disables the extension. Until now, we are done with the configuration. We enable it, which will reload the Walgreens page. And then you can see, I let you see the extension. Actually, it's working. You can see the blue bubble. Before I finish talking, it's pulling in the Amazon data display inside the data box for you. And then if I scroll down, it will keep pulling in the data. And then most of them we can find the perfect match. Some of them Amazon do not yet have the listing, so we cannot find it. And then if I scroll down, you can see the data is already there for you. So in my study, we are able to pull in the Amazon data 100 times faster than the manual process without the extension. Now, we human, the user of the extension, become the bottleneck. Even though we give you the information 100 times faster, but when you get good at it with the extension, probably you increase your throughput 10x. So, so let me go back, right? So you get the idea. Right now, all the data already been shown to the first page of the 272 item. Let me go into one of them. Actually, this is the perfect example. You potentially, for Walgreens, you likely will see a data box like this, full of the data, complete MAPS, the maps data. But you do see one, for example, this one. We have the UPC, but for whatever reason, we couldn't find it on Amazon. Potentially, Amazon do not yet have the listing for this one. Well, if you can create a new listing, there you go. You're the first one. And then this one right here, the UPC do not give us anything, a match from Amazon. However, as we know, sometimes Amazon, a product, do not have a UPC attribute added yet. So but it's still there. How do we do it? We will look at the title search. Sometimes you can bring up the match. So we have we already, this case, the heavy lifting is already done. No more copy and paste the title and find it on Amazon. We did that, and including the image search. And this is the 3 result potentially. Actually, this is the perfect find. It's already been done for you. Okay, so let me go over the first one, the standard, the data box. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so MAPS, right? Number one, because we're using a UPC, it's guaranteed a perfect match. You see, this is the Amazon image, and then this is the Amazon title. And so that means the matching part is already done. And availability, because we already set the, right here, only one Walgreens show me the in-stock item. So this item show up, that means Walgreens has in stock for you. So that takes care of the availability, okay? And then the profitability, you can see we capture this $2.57 is with all the discount applied to it. Buy 2, get third free, which is 33% discount. And on top of it, we'll pile 20%, up to 20% discount, depends on the checkout amount. And then we apply 4% cash back, okay? So that it's from $4.79, comes down to $2.57 with all the discount available. And then we'll pull in right now, I think there's no FBA seller. So we'll put the lowest FBM at 18.87. So the profit is pretty, it's $7.76. That means your profitability is right there. So what about the last one? Sellability. So we kind of hide it until the first 3 pass your inspection, right? Like doing the replan, you have the 3-step flight checks that what Joy and Robin mentioned, right? So we see more data right here. So that means we hover over, we were supposed to see the offer count graph, but in this case, Keeper do not have a record, so we're not able to show anything. But if you look under, we show you all the essential sellability data, the rating review for this item. Have you sold this before? Do you have any on-hand inventory right now? FBA seller, FBM seller, Amazon. So a quick glance, you already know the sellability. You have some idea, right? So as I mentioned, I don't want you to spend more than 30 seconds on a single item because you have 272 to go through. And so in this case, let me change it back to make it smaller so you can see both, okay? So on one screen, and by the way, the tips is a lot of people, they use a laptop screen, maximum 17 inches. It's not big enough. Get a 27, ideally it's 4K. You will really like the efficiency it brings to you. You will be joyful, okay? So anyway, so right now that is the typical data box. And then if you like it, you save it. And then if you want to leave a little note, I found it. when talking to Jimmy. So I save the change. Now automatically the data here already been saved to the account dashboard automatically. And you click this one right here. You go to your account dashboard, and then you will see it's right here. So it's right there for you. Okay. All right. So, and if you uncheck it, it will be removed from the account dashboard, and you put it back. So this one is the same thing, right? So one thing about, depends on the category. If you've been selling long enough, sometimes there's a lot of multi-packs, a bundle, a kind of thing. When you see something on Walgreens, something too good to be true, the profit, double checked by hover over the Amazon title to see if there's any pack of 3, pack of 12, whatever, right? So that's it. Do your diligence to find that out. Now, this is the standard data box with the maps. Now, let me talk about the other two. This one right here. Using the UPC and even use the title, we don't find anything. But if you still want to, you can search the title yourself if you want to do that, okay? Now, onto this one. Now, we just so happen we couldn't find the item using UPC, but we find it by searching the title and then combined with the image match. We've actually find it. It's right here. So you say, oh, this is the perfect match. That's the first step, right? Matchability. This looks the same as the one in Walgreens. So let me click it. Now you can see the standard data box with all the information associated with this one. All because you take care of the matchability first, and then you do as usual. If you want to say, you know what, I guess this is not the same. Let me go back to take a look at others. Okay. And if you want to do research again, then you can search the Amazon again and try to see if it give you back a different result. Now, here's the kicker. You can see the title right here. Let me bring it up. You can see a highlight in orange, but actually I allow you to customize to, you can deselect. Now a new title is highlighted in orange. And then if you click search, it was supposed to go back to Amazon to find something that matched that. And then if you come back, you bring back the original title. That means without leaving the store, you'll be able to do pretty much anything with your title, right? It's all with one click and then you're done. If you like it, let's add some custom text, something like that. And then this will be included in the new title, and then we will fetch to Amazon and find the data coming back. So you click restore, and then you come back to the same one. Then you try to look through the result. So when you go through the result, as you can see, you just hover over, and then all the essential data, the MAPS, a minimalistic version of it will be available right here. And you see right here, it's so important, like what Jimmy said. You look at the keeper, even though the price, everything looks good, but if the keeper does not look appealing to you, then you know you have to pass it on, right? That's what I do. So this is the third case. And do you have any questions so far, Jimmy?
I don't have any questions about that. I think that it's fairly straightforward. Obviously, there's a lot of small features there that people can really use to maximize their sourcing time. But I really love being able to put in those discounts, the cash back, any gift cards, etc., and then seeing the profitability right on that screen there. So that way you can kind of scroll if you're looking for anything over a $4 profit. You could just go right past the 55 cents if you wanted to. Or if you're looking to save any leads and you're fine with a low profit like 55 cents because it could go up in price in the future, then you could save that as a lead to check back on later. So yeah, it seems fairly straightforward to me.
Yeah, if people using the Replan dashboard, that the tool that you have, I think that will make sense, right? So this is what happened is you identify the one with potential. That's the keyword. Don't spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes on a single unit. You identify based on the maps data. If it has a high potential, you save it and then you move on. So later on, if you can upload to Replan dashboard, and then you'll be able to have your team, yourself, your VA to monitor it, right? Because those are the ones that they say viable replan. So that is a good word. I like it.
Yeah.
So quickly, go to Sierra because, as I mentioned, they do not support UPC, so we can't see the regular data box. But we do offer, as we are going over stuff on Walgreen, so all the data is already presented right here for you in the box. What you see in the image, up to 12 images, those are all the potential match that will provide that for you without you doing copy and paste and bring up, open a new tab, go to Amazon and back and forth just to make sure they're the same. So you can go through them as you say, let's say this one right here is similar but different color, right? So you can see, so we can take click and then we'll be able to analyze further based on that selection. If you doesn't feel right, then you can just go ahead and look at other item. So that means it's one extra step in matchability. That's the best that we can do. So what happens if people, they do not have this extension? Here's the best way, the most efficient way that I found they can work with a site like Walgreens, for example. So first, title search. Second, image search, right? So if you use a ref seller, AC Insight or Seller M, I think they're pretty common in allow you the ability to open up a panel, a box on the screen, and then you'll be able to kind of copy and paste the title. So in this case, I have a ref seller, and so you can, without leaving the catalog page, so you can bring up, let's say I bring up the ref seller, okay? All right, so if I copy, you manually copy, sometimes the store make it easy, sometimes make it difficult. But let's say we copy and take a shortcut. Okay, let me do this one. Most of the time, people will come over here, go to the individual product page, and you click the ref seller, it will automatically capture the title, right, of this item and put it there. And then you can potentially see the potential match, either through the API or through directly working with the Seller Central. Sometimes they have a different result. But let's say you couldn't find it, you want to search try to find the match using an image search. So you right click on the image, you click search image with Google, they open up a second panel. And you can see right here, you see the Sierra, which is this one. If you click see exact matches, potentially you will be able to see one on Amazon as well. Okay, I do this pretty quickly. And so in this case, we couldn't find the perfect match using the Google image search, but you can see you open two panel using two different ways, try to find the perfect match. So that is the best that a seller without using the extension can do. It's pretty efficient, right? Compared to without open a new tab, going back and forth. But so let's close this one. So in comparison with the, let's say we go to, just pick a different one. So same thing right here. I'll let you see the action because okay. So we already put the image initial title search and image search, it's being done and displayed in front of you. And then it's already right there. That saved tons of time already. So I don't need to go into deeper into each one of them, but I think so far I have shown enough. Basically, what the Chrome extension, the Quick Find extension does is to pull in Amazon Maps data, inject it directly into the store that you are working with. We have 140 plus store now, and then the idea, without leaving the store, you find the potential item. And then you have the time, even let's say you spend 3 hours a day to do the sourcing. Now, usually 3 hours, let me see, 400, if you go through whatever number of leads a day without using the extension, you can 10 times, times 10. That will be the total number of the lead that you can go through. So that's how the extension help find the needle in the haystack by eliminate what you don't want very quickly. It's the method of elimination. So I just show you in essence, that's what the extension can do for the seller.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that, Quincy.
Welcome.
One thing that as a somebody that's been doing this for a long time, you begin to realize how important it is to have all that extra time back, while also maximizing the time that you're spending while you're sourcing. That's why having leads built up so that you have, not enough capital to buy all of these things, but as super profitable things come up, you can purchase more, right? And it's just how can we not only maximize our time that we're sourcing, but almost make duplicates of ourselves by doing more at one time. I think that software allows us to do that anyway. That's the point I'm trying to get at, is that while you're sourcing, you're able to do, according to you, Quincy, 10 times more, or go through 10 times more products because of this extension. And I can see how that could happen because you're able to just stay on one page. You're able to change up even some of the sourcing criteria. If you go based off of the title, if you want to change how the title is being sourced there, you can do so many things, and then just add it to your, I guess, not leads lists, but whenever you click favorites there, you can just add it to the favorites and then go back through all the favorites to make your purchases at the end of it. I mean, I could see how that could be a fairly quick process for you or a virtual assistant to do. So I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's a great software program. I know you're continually building more features and functionality into it. And what I love the most is seeing how many people in the communities that I'm a part of have success with it. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that I brought you on the channel. So is there anything else that you'd like to share on this before we wrap up for the video?
Yes, I would like to share two tips about online sourcing. So number one, because I have the 4 hours work week, sometime within an hour for the day, I already burned the $1,000 budget. So the key thing is not to give up so quickly. So if I allocate, so managing sourcing, shipping, selling, and sustaining, sometime the last three, it takes much less time. Within half an hour, I'm done for the day. So I have 3.5 hours for sourcing, right? So, but if the first hour I already finished using up all my budget, what I'm going to do with that an hour and 30 minutes? So I will continue to source any way I can. But even though I'm not buying it, but I save on the side, and then tomorrow I'll go visit them. As you can see, if what I save today can burn up my budget, use up my budget for tomorrow, I have even more time to do something else, right? So the key thing is being consistent. So sometimes you will find a day, oh, I cannot burn up my budget and use up my budget. What do I do? Should I force myself to make sure I use $1,000? No, you don't have to, because tomorrow or the 2 days later, you might find something that can use up 5,000 in a day. So it's okay. There are always leads, profitable leads for people to purchase. The key thing, you have the access, you have the tool or service allow you to access them, right? So you can be free from the anxiety. Man, I have to do this. I have to use up my budget. You don't have to. And then number two, this tool in the subscriber will work with some of the coaches from Jim's group. They love this thing because it really empower the team, the VA. So imagine if I am the seller, yes, I love as much as I love sourcing, but it's still time consuming, right? So ultimately, you want to transfer that knowledge to your team member. So you give them the lead list, you give them the tool and teach them how to do it. And they do that for you. You empower them. You 10x their productivity, and then you get your time back to work on something else that you like, you enjoy. So those are the two tips I want to give out to the viewers.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much, Quincy. Those are both very important things for people to understand and to just kind of think through. There's a wide range of people on this channel, from brand new sellers, people that haven't even started their account, to even super experienced sellers that have been doing this for 10 years, like the both of us here. And so it's always good to bring tools, tactics, strategies, and experienced people on here to help every seller as much as we can. So Quincy, thank you so much for being on. As I mentioned throughout the video, if anybody's interested in checking out the Quick Finds extension, you can go over to askjimmysmith.com/quick finds, and that will bring you straight to the page. And the link will be in the description for anybody that's interested as well. So Quincy, thank you so much for being on. Excited to hopefully have you on again in the future at some point, but looking forward to seeing all the people that have success with the extension. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you so much for checking out this interview with Quincy Lin from Quick Finds Extension. As you can see, Quincy is a wealth of knowledge. He's been doing this for over 10 years, and the tool that he showed, the Quick Finds Extension tool, has helped so many different sellers in the communities that I'm a part of that I had to bring him onto the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in checking out the Quick Finds Extension, you can head over to askjimmysmith.com/quick finds. That link will be below and in the description. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the results and success that you get from using that software. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Be sure to answer as many as we possibly can. And I hope this video helps you and blesses you. You have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.